All right. Hello. And thank you once again so much to everyone who is joining us today for the Intro to Ayurveda for Health and Wellness Professionals. I am really, really stoked that you guys have made an effort to come. Like I said, it's a Tuesday morning. I know we're all busy with work and kids and all the things. So I do really appreciate you guys coming to the live session. The live sessions are always so much, there's just so much more energy and fun in the lives. So yeah, I'm really grateful that you guys are here today. Now, okay, so it doesn't want to do my automatic clicker. Now, this isn't just another masterclass. This is your gateway to elevating your practice, deepening client transformations, and expanding your impact in the wellness space. But first, I would love to connect. So can you please type your profession in the chat box? Those who are here on the live in the Zoom chat box, let me know what you do, because I'd love to know who's joining us and the incredible healers, teachers, and practitioners that we have in the room. So we have trauma-informed life and mindset coach, Pilates instructor, counselor, beautiful. What else have we got in here? I can hear some people typing away. Police officer, and you just started your yoga, teaching yoga. Awesome, Shree. Remedial massage therapist, herbalist, gut specialist, we've got nutritionist, exercise physiologist, breathwork practitioner, aromatherapist. Amazing. We've got so many beautiful, beautiful modalities. I might just increase this slightly, my little zoom in a little bit. No, it's not going to let me zoom in. Whoop. There we go. That's better, isn't it? Okay, so thank you, all of these amazing healers. What you can expect from today's session is that we're going to dive into the ancient wisdom of Ayurveda. I mean, that's why we're all here, right? So we're going to be covering rituals, nutrition, psychology, the 5 elements, and the doshas. So there's a lot to get through, and you'll learn how to weave this powerful science into your existing practice to create lasting client results. And then I'll introduce you to my higher self method, which is a signature approach designed to amplify both your personal growth and business expansion. So by the end of today's session, you'll not only understand the art and science of Ayurveda, you'll know how to apply it to your life and work in a way that feels really authentic and transformative, which we all love as authentic practitioners. Now, why I am so passionate about sharing this wisdom with other health and wellness professionals. Well, let's be real for a second. Many health and wellness professionals, maybe even you, are doing all the right things. You're showing up online, sharing tips, posting reels, and hoping the next post will magically fill your calendar, but somehow it's just not landing in the way that it should. Therefore, you're exhausted by the hustle, chasing authority, and it all just feels out of reach. And despite having an arsenal of modalities under your belt, it feels like you've hit a ceiling with how far you can take your clients. Now, I see this all the time, practitioners pouring their heart into their work, but feeling stuck at the same level, burnout, disconnected from their why, and wondering how to make it all click again. And the hardest part, it's that quiet voice that whispers, is this it? Is this as far as I can go? But here's the thing, it isn't. That plateau isn't your final destination. The problem isn't you or your skills. The missing piece is a deeper, time-tested system that doesn't treat symptoms in isolation, but looks at the whole person, their physical health, mental patterns, and deeper purpose, which is their dharma. We'll cover that later. Ayurveda offers a personalized integrative approach that adapts to each client's unique constitution, allowing for sustainable transformation without relying on fleeting wellness trends. Ooh, what happened to my slide? Oh, there we go. So we've found out that in this group on the live call, we've got amazing different practitioners from aromatherapists, nutritionists, exercise physiologists, healers, all of the beautiful things. So let me ask you, why did you start this journey? Was it to create real lasting impact? Was it to align with a deeper purpose or build freedom, success, and a life you love? Perhaps you set out to do all of that, but somewhere along the way, things got a little bit harder than expected. And I can totally resonate. That actually definitely happened to me. So I want to ask you guys and type in the chat what number resonates with you the most at the moment in your current business, because this will help me drive this masterclass or this workshop for you. So number one, are you hustling hard but still struggling to attract high value clients? Number two, are you getting results for your clients, but not the level you know that you could? Are you feeling disconnected from the passion that once fueled your work? Or are you feeling like you should be further along by now and making more income? Amazing. We've got so many twos and a few fours. I love that. So the main thing this group we're going to address is you're wondering how to take your clients beyond surface level changes. Like, you already get your clients results, but you know that you can get them more or better results. And you feel like you should be further along by now and making a bit more income. And one of the beautiful ladies has said, all of them's me. Well, you're in the right spot, Pam. So thank you for being here and being so honest. So here's the truth. To thrive in this field, you need more than just a skill. You need a unique edge. That's where Ayurveda comes in. Now, before we dive straight in, let me introduce myself as I see some new gorgeous faces here today and some beautiful faces that I have met before. So thank you again, everybody. My name is Dr. Harmony Robinson-Stagg, and I've worn many hats over the last 20 years as a health professional, an Ayurvedic practitioner, doctor of Chinese medicine, yoga Pilates teacher, registered nurse. But at my core, I'm someone who, like you, was driven to help others. So for years, I thrived in high pressure environments, emergency departments, and operating theaters as a nurse. And they were like, it's where saving lives was just part of my day to day. But while I was busy fixing others, my own health was quietly falling apart. Anxiety, hormonal imbalance, and IBS ran the show, which was me. I was exhausted, I was disconnected, and despite all my training, I couldn't fix me. That's when Ayurveda entered my life, and it didn't just heal me, it completely reframed how I see health, purpose, and success. It reminded me that health isn't just physical, it's mental, emotional, and deeply connected to our dharma, our purpose. For years, I have now blended Ayurvedic wisdom with modern health sciences, guiding women and professionals like you towards holistic transformation. Through my signature Higher Self method, I've helped thousands of clients move from burnout and imbalance to thriving physically, emotionally, and financially. I 100% know how it feels to doubt if you're really making the impact that you set out to. Like I said, that was me 10 plus years ago. And I see that doubt in so many of my students and my clients. But let me tell you this, when you integrate this wisdom, when you align with Ayurveda's principles, you don't just heal your clients, you transform your business and yourself. So as you can see on the right side of the slide here, this is me doing all my thing now, but the other side is me before, teaching multiple yoga Pilates classes all over town. That's my very first picture of me as a grad nurse all the way back in 2005. And yeah, you can almost see by the picture, other than the picture quality, because our iPhones have got much better, but like just the difference in, I don't know, just how I've been able to step into my higher self through this work. So now I really want to dive in to how you can bring this ancient personalized wisdom into your life and work. Ayurveda, often called science of life, has guided health and healing for over 5,000 years. But Ayurveda is more than a health system. It's a lifestyle, a roadmap for living in alignment with the rhythms of nature and the deeper connection between mind, body, and spirit. At its core, Ayurveda is about balance. When the body is in balance, disease cannot take root. When imbalance occurs, Ayurveda doesn't just ask, like, what are your symptoms? It asks, why did this happen? Where did it start? And what patterns led you here? It's an approach that looks beyond the physical body, examining lifestyle, nutrition, thought patterns, and daily habits to uncover the root cause of illness. Ayurveda simplifies health by peeling back the layers of modern complexity, offering a clear and ethical path to transformation, one that feels really organic and aligned with your true nature. To truly apply Ayurveda, you must start at the root, understanding the 5 elements that form the foundation of its teaching and recognizing your unique constitution known as your doshas. But before we go any further, I would love to hear, is everyone here familiar with Ayurveda, or is this like the first time you're hearing about it? I would love to like drop in the chat if this is like the first time you're hearing about it, or if you've had any experience with Ayurveda. So we know that so we've got some experience familiar with Ayurveda. Beautiful. Okay, some experience. Awesome. So you guys know that your dosha reflects how the elements express themselves within you, shaping your strengths, tendencies, and areas of imbalance. Every decision you make, what you eat, how you move, the seasons, your environment, and even the people you surround yourself affects this delicate balance. Ayurveda offers more than just health advice. It teaches us to listen deeply to the body's intelligence and trust in its ability to heal. Now, by cultivating this awareness, we're empowered to make better choices. Choices that honor who we are at our core, our unique constitution. And this is where true lasting well-being begins for you and your clients. So let's look at the 5 elements. In Ayurveda, everything begins with the elements. Now, they aren't just a beautiful poetic idea. They form the very foundation of your body, your mind, and the experience of the world. So these are the 5 elements. We have ether or space, or the Sanskrit word is akasha, and this is the space that allows life to unfold. Air or vayu represents the movement and change. Fire or tejas represents transformation and digestion. And when we talk about digestion, we're talking about not only food, but also how we digest our ideas and our thoughts. Water or jala represents flow, cohesion, and nourishment. And earth or prithvi represents structure, stability, and form. Now, these elements, they don't exist in isolation. They blend and interact, forming the 3 doshas. So we have vata, which is air and ether, pitta, which is fire and water, and kapha, which is earth and water. Your unique combination of these doshas shape your physical body, mental tendency, and emotional patterns. Now let's break down the elements a little bit further. Each element isn't just conceptual, it's alive in your body. So if we look at ether in the body, that's the space within your joints, synapses, and the gaps that allow communication between cells. It governs self-expression. If we look at the element air within the body, it's responsible for our movement, our breath, circulation, and even nerve impulses. When this element is balanced, it really fuels our creativity. Fire is our digestion, our metabolism, and our intellect. The fire element is behind your body's temperature, glow, and drive. Water is present in all bodily fluids, including your blood, lymph, and plasma. It cools and nourishes the body. And earth is found in bones, muscles, and tissues, and it gives form, structure, and grounding. These elements, they don't operate alone. They weave together to create the person that you are. Now, I'm going to jump ship a little bit here, but you'll understand why. Because the elements shape your body, but it's the gunas, and they do have a role obviously in our mind, but it's the gunas that shape your mind and perception, the three maha gunas, so the three great gunas. And these are sattva, rajas, and tamas. They are the qualities of nature that influence how we think, feel, and respond to life. So sattva represents the lightness, clarity, harmony, and joy. It's the state of ease and expansion, a sattvic mind. We're at ease, we're expansive. Rajas is movement, it's passion, it's drive. It's the energy that we need to get things done. And tamas is stillness, rest, or can be inertia. It's essential for grounding and rejuvenation, but too much tamas can lead to depression and like inertia in the mind. Now, these qualities, they aren't good or bad. They just simply are. I know our Western minds often we like to think, oh, that sounds really bad, or I don't want tamas, or that's great, that's what I want. But they just are as they are, and they're part of us as humans. Rajas gives you momentum, but too much will lead to restlessness. Tamas slows you down, but excess can bring heaviness or lethargy. Whereas sattva is that sweet spot. It's the pure balance. So imagine that you, as a healer, health and wellness practitioner, you're running a wellness business. Rajas gets you creating content and engaging clients. Tamas lets you rest and recover. But sattva is the clarity that drives aligned action. Now, one of Ayurveda's core teachings is simple but profound. Like increases like, and opposites bring balance. Okay, now this is important when we're talking about the different gunas and the different elements and their qualities. So let's break it down. If you're feeling really fiery, frustrated, overheated, or irritable, what would happen if you eat spicy food on a hot day? What element? Someone put it in the chat box or yell it out. What element are you adding to an already existing element within you? Yes, Steph, fire. You add more fire to the fire. And if you're feeling cold and ungrounded, anxious or restless, but you're eating raw cold food or spending time in like a really windy weather, you're only going to amplify that energy. I know this is so true for me. If I'm really anxious or like really unsettled and it's or just like really windy weather will make me feel more so. Like it will make me feel really unsettled. That's the vata in me, just doesn't like it. But instead, Ayurveda teaches us to counterbalance those qualities. So too much heat, we just cool it with soothing, grounding foods and environments. If we're feeling sluggish, we can add lightness and movement. So think of it as crafting a personalized wellness toolkit, one that is tailored not just to symptoms, but the whole person. And this is so imperative when you're working one-to-one with clients. So to deepen our understanding on the qualities of the elements and the gunas, Ayurveda introduces the 10 pairs of opposing qualities, or they also call them gunas because the word gunas translates to qualities. But I like to call them maha gunas, the big G's, and these are like the little G's, the qualities that you can see and feel every day. So we have heavy and light, cold, hot, dry, oily, dull, sharp, rough, smooth, dense, liquid, hard, soft, static, mobile, gross, subtle, sticky, clear. So everything can be described through these qualities, even emotions. You know, love, it feels warm and soft. Anger is hot and sharp. Depression is heavy and dull. By understanding these qualities, you gain the tools to balance not just the physical body, but emotional states as well. So is everyone with me? I haven't lost anyone yet. Does anyone have any questions before I move on? No? Amazing. Well, let's turn the focus inward. Let's take a little time and a moment to reflect. Now, you guys will get the workbook for this sent out in an email with the recording straight after this, but Mel's also going to pop the link to the workbook in the chats if you guys just wanted to quickly download it if you're sitting on a computer. So she's put that in the chat there. Now, what qualities do you feel in your body right now? Pop it in the chat. Are you feeling light? Maybe heavy, cool, warm? Like how, like close your eyes, even breathe into your body. And how are you feeling? Like I know for me at the moment, because I'm doing lots of talking, I'm feeling warm. I'll just send a request for access. Oh, damn. Okay. Sorry, Mina. You're feeling heavy, Brooke. Oh, that's no good. Feeling heavy. So we need to add more lightness for you, Brooke. What about emotions? Are your emotions feeling sharp? Are they feeling fluid? Are they feeling grounded? Pam, you're feeling struck or stuck? Yeah, it's really good to be able to have like this insight into how we're feeling, like in our body, in our emotions. And that's what Ayurveda really is all about. It's really cultivating that deeper and greater sense of awareness of self so that we can change it. We can move it. We can move those feelings. So if we're heavy, we add more lightness. And we're going to talk about how we're going to do that soon. Now, as I mentioned, within Ayurveda, health is not just a one size fits all. What balances one person can completely throw off another. There's a saying in Ayurveda, one man's medicine can be another man's poison. So for instance, just here in the chat, we've got lovely Brooke who said she's feeling heavy, and we've got beautiful Steph saying she's feeling light and expanded. So this is a perfect example of one man's medicine being one man's poison. If we were to prescribe things to counterbalance the heaviness in Brooke, and we did that same protocol for Steph, wow, that's just going to make Steph go like out of her nice light expanded state to a like too light, too like maybe up and ahead, too much anxiety, too much ether and air quality. So you can see how one man's medicine can be another man's poison. What balances one will completely, as I mentioned, throw off another. We just had an example of that. So this is the concept of like where the concept, I should say, of doshas comes in, which is a personalized blueprint that reflects your unique combination of the elements. The doshas, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, govern every aspect of your physical, mental, and emotional health. They are the dynamic forces that shape who you are, how you respond to life, and even the type of imbalance that you might experience. So think of your dosha as your body's operating system. When it's running smoothly, you feel vibrant, clear, and energized. But when it's out of balance, that's when dis-ease, fatigue, or emotional disharmony can appear. Now let's meet the doshas, starting with their elemental makeup. Vata, made up of ether and air, those two elements, they come together to make Vata, which is the energy of movement. Pitta, the elements of fire and water come together, and that is the energy of transformation. And Kapha, earth and water come together, and that's the energy of stability and structure. Each of us carries all three doshas, but in different proportions. One or two will typically dominate, shaping your body type, personality, and even your strengths and vulnerabilities. So let's look at the Vata dosha, the creative force. Vata is, if we think of those qualities again, Vata is light, it's dry, it's cold and quick. It's the dosha of movement and creativity. If you think of the wind, it's moving and it can change directions very fast. It governs all flow in the body, circulation, breath, and nerve impulses. When Vata is balanced, it brings creativity, inspiration, flexibility, and adaptability, lightness in the body and the mind. But when Vata's out of balance, Vata can show up as anxiety, restlessness, or overwhelm. dry skin, constipation, and joint pain, insomnia, or scattered thinking. So that's why I was saying if we we're going to add too much lightness to Steph, who is already in a beautiful balanced Vata state, we could bring her out of balance. If you often feel on the go, but you struggle to ground yourself, Vata may be dominant in you. Think of Vata as the wind. It's energizing but unpredictable. Too much wind and things can get chaotic. If you've ever felt scattered or depleted, that's a sign your Vata needs grounding. Now, Pitta is quite the opposite. It's hot, it's sharp and intense. It's the dosha of transformation and metabolism. It fuels digestion, ambition, and intellect. Or I shouldn't say but I should say when Pitta is balanced, it brings clear thinking and sharp focus, strong digestion and metabolism, leadership, confidence, and drive. But when out of balance, Pitta can show up as irritability, frustration, or impatience, heartburn, inflammation, and skin rashes, perfectionism, or burnout. If you're someone who's driven and goal orientated, but sometimes feels the pressure to do it all, Pitta might be leading the charge. Pitta is like fire. So it's essential for warmth and light, but too much can burn you out. Have you ever, I'd love to hear from you guys, because I know this is me. Have you ever snapped at someone after skipping lunch? Like being like so hangry that you, well, that's your inner Pitta talking. Kapha. Kapha is cool, it's heavy and stable. It's the dosha that provides structure, strength, and immunity. It's responsible for growth, lubrication, and emotional resilience. When balanced, Kapha brings calmness, compassion, and patience, physical strength and endurance, stability, and grounding energy. But when out of balance, Kapha can show up as lethargy, weight gain, sluggish digestion, resistance to change, or feeling stuck. So I know someone in the chat mentioned that they were feeling stuck. So that's a bit of a Kapha imbalance. They may also be more prone to feeling depressed or lack of motivation. Kapha types are often the anchors of the communities. They're grounded and dependable, but prone to inertia when they lose momentum. So it's really important to keep them feeling inspired and passionate and moving forward. Kapha's like rich soil, yeah? It's nourishing and supportive, but too much can feel really heavy and stuck. If you've ever felt really like it's been really hard to get moving, then that's Kapha in excess. Here's the exciting part. Your dosha isn't just determined by how you feel today. There are two layers to your dosha. Well, there's multiple, but there's two different types of doshas we speak of. Number one is our prakriti, which is your natural constitution. This is the dosha that you were born with. It's the unchanging blueprint of who you are, and it reflects your inherent strengths, personality, and physical tendencies. So your prakriti was created at conception and at time of birth. So it will depend on genetics, your parents' environment that they're living in when you were conceived, the food that they were eating. Then it'll also depend on the environment you were born in, the weather, the season. All of those things form and create your prakriti, and even depending on how deep you want to go into this, your karmic past. Your vikriti, now this is the one that we look at when we're doing the dosha quizzes. And Mel has popped my full dosha quiz in the links there, which you guys can have access to if you'd like to work out your Vikriti. We will be doing it soon in a smaller version. But your Vikriti is your current state of imbalance. It's what your dosha is right now. So it's the one that we work on with you or your clients to get you back to a balanced state. So this dosha has been influenced by your lifestyle, your environment, stress, the people you're working with, the environment you're working in, your diet, and it changes. Your Vikriti will change depending on all of those things. So understanding the difference between your prakriti and your vikriti allows you to work towards balance in a way that feels really natural and sustainable for you. When you understand your dosha, everything starts to shift. You start to see your quirks as reflections of your nature, not flaws. You can adjust your food, movement, and lifestyle to create balance, not because someone said you should, but because you know what your body needs. You help your clients reach deeper transformations by offering personalized care rather than generic advice. And Ayurveda, it doesn't ask you to become someone else, it helps you return to the healthiest, most vibrant version of yourself. Okay, so let's just take a little pause for a moment. And based on what we've covered so far, would you say you resonate with Vata's lightness and movement, or maybe Pitta's intensity and drive, or Kapha's calm and steady nature? Drop down in the chat box the dosha that you feel most connected to at this moment. So it's not about getting it right, it's about noticing what feels familiar to you. So Jessie is Vata, Von Vata. Oh, we've got a lot of Vatas in the house. Helena, Vata. Quite a lot of Vatas today. It's definitely Vata, says Steph. Shri, Vata Pitta. Yeah. Kapha with a bit of Vata. Love that. Yeah. Yes, I'm very Vata Pitta. And after this session, because I've been talking so much, and Vata is also the dosha of like the senses and speech, and so my Vata will be very heightened after this workshop. We've got a Pitta Kapha. Nice, Brooke. Yeah, thank you guys. Amazing. I love that you are all really getting familiar with your doshas. So what I'll do is I think you guys are already pretty much onto your doshas, what they are, but I will just go through 6 quick questions so we can have a look at what a dosha quiz would look like. Please note that I would never do a 6-question dosha quiz on someone because it's not going to give us all the information. This is just purely for time's sake. We don't have enough time to go into all of the quizzes and finding everything out about who we are. We go in depth in this in the Ayurveda Alchemist Academy in our program, but we only have like an hour here today, not a whole 12 months, which the alchemists have. So I will just let you guys either read off the screen or listen to me. And I want you to write down what represents you the most. So either A, B, or C, and we will find out what your current dosha is. So number 1, your body frame and weight, it's usually, it's more represented by A, thin, light build, and you may lose weight easily. B, medium muscular build, and your weight usually stays stable. Or C, larger solid build, and your weight may accumulate easily. Number 2, if we're looking at skin and hair, would you say A, that your hair's more dry, rough, and you have cool skin? Maybe your your skin's dry and rough and cool, and your hair is thin and brittle? Or would you say B, you've got warm, sensitive skin, and your hair is fine or prone to greasiness? Or C, soft, smooth, oily skin, and you've got more thick, wavy hair? Well, Steph's already done the quiz. She's always. Energetic levels. A, energetic burst but tires quickly. B, strong, steady energy, driven and productive. C, consistent, slow, may feel sluggish. Or 4, your digestion, when it comes to your digestion, are you A, irregular, often bloated or constipated? B, strong digestion, can eat almost anything. Or C, slow digestion, feels heavy after meals. Question 5, what is your response like to stress? A, anxious, overwhelmed, or scattered. B, irritable, impatient, or fiery. C, withdrawn, calm, or unmotivated. And 6, what is your weather preference? A, loves warmth, dislikes cold and wind. B, enjoys cooler climates and dislikes too much heat. Or C, prefers warm, moist environments, doesn't like cold, damp weather though. So add up if you got mostly A's, B's, or C's. And as a reminder, I would never do a 6-question dosha quiz on anyone, but for the sake of time and a little bit of fun, we're going to do the 6-question dosha quiz. So did any of you guys get anything different to the dosha you told me you were just before when you tapped into how you felt in your body? Did anyone get anything different? The quiz results shows that if you had mostly A's, you're a Vata type. So you are ether and air dominant. Mostly B's, Pitta, fire and water. And if you got mostly C's, your primary dosha would be Kapha, earth and water. So, yeah, Helena, you got all B's. I've always thought of you're very Pitta Vata. Yeah, I've thought of you a lot as Pitta. More C and A. So yeah, Kapha Vata. Well, Brooke, you said you were Kapha Vata, didn't you? Oh no, you Kapha Pitta, did you say? No, sure you said. And Pitta, mostly Kapha. Beautiful. So this is just showing you guys, how we can work out constitutions of our clients. But of course, it's a lot more in depth than that. This was just a little snapshot of it. Your dosha isn't just a label, it's a roadmap to understanding yourself on a deeper level. So Vata types, they thrive in creativity and movement, but they need a lot of grounding. Pitta types excel in leadership, but they benefit from cooling and rest. And Kapha types are stable and nurturing, but need lightness and stimulation. So in the next section, we're going to dive into how to balance your doshas and use it to guide your personal health and your business growth. I mean, even when I do like business consultations with my clients, I always try to understand what dosha they are because I know I'm going to be treating them slightly different or be giving them different tasks within their business to expand their business. Because, Vatas they're so creative. They have multiple different ideas. They're always changing their mind and they need a lot more direction. Whereas Pittas are so strong and focused. And sometimes they need to like loosen up a little bit. It's really interesting when you work with the doshas. So now that you have a sense of your dominant dosha, we'll talk about balance. So remember, no dosha is bad or wrong. The goal isn't to eliminate your dominant energy, but to harmonize it. When balanced, your dosha is your greatest strength. And when out of balance, it can lead to physical symptoms, emotional patterns, and blocks in your life or business. But the good news is that Ayurveda gives us simple, effective tools to restore balance by working with our nature, not against it. So for our Vatas in here, if your dominant dosha is Vata, you thrive in creativity, movement, and spontaneity. But when it's out of balance, that same energy can manifest as anxiety, dryness, restlessness, or exhaustion. So to bring Vata back to balance, the key is grounding, warmth, and consistency. So for your diet, you want to favor warm, moist, and grounding foods like soups, root vegetables, and nourishing fats, and avoid cold, raw, or dry foods. I have so many clients, and this was me at the beginning of my journey, who used to eat like just munch down raw salads all day, every day, and would get so bloated and gassy. And that is because of my high Vata constitution. So I had to really work on my Agni and eat more cooked grounding foods, which made a huge difference. Now for movement, they need to choose more gentle grounding practices like restorative yoga, Tai Chi, or nature walks. And for their lifestyle, create daily routines. Vata loves structure, even if they resist it at first. So Vata, the dosha, loves structure, but Vata, the person, often was like, I don't like having routine, but that's often the problem, right? And they also need to prioritize sleep and rest. For their mind, meditation, journaling, and breath work are really powerful for calming a busy Vata mind. You need to be mindful of the breath work you're doing. We teach a Vedic breath work program called Ayasol, and it's all about the right breath work for your constitution. So we need like really grounding breath work for Vata. So maybe alternate nostril breathing. Someone said, Mina said, geez, this makes sense. Awesome. All right, so think of balancing Vata like anchoring the wind, steady, gentle, and nurturing. Now, Pitta brings focus, drive, and intensity, which makes it a powerhouse for getting things done. But when pitta burns too hot, it can lead to irritability, inflammation, burnout, or perfectionism. To cool and balance pitta, the focus is on soothing, cooling, and softening. And ways to do that through diet, we want to choose cooling, hydrating foods like cucumbers, coconut water, mint, and leafy greens, and avoid spicy, fried, or acidic foods. For movement, opt for cooling exercises like swimming is amazing for pitta, as well as surfing, because surfing can be a bit of fun. They're out in the elements and just having fun, not too competitive. You don't want to, like, pittas are drawn to competitive sport, but sometimes it's not in their best interest all the time. Doing yoga, but again, not trying to be the best yogi in the room, or walking at sunset's beautiful for pitta, and just avoid overheating workouts. They'll get really dehydrated. Our lifestyle for pittas, we really want to build breaks into their day and avoid over scheduling. Embrace creative hobbies that feel light and fun. We need to bring more lightness, more fun, more joy into a pitta because they're usually so focused. For the mind, they can practice self-compassion. Avoid comparison, that's huge for pitta, and introduce calming breath work like Nadi Shodhana or Shatali breath, where we curl the tongue, inhale through the mouth, exhale through the nose. That is a cooling breathwork practice. That's really good for pitta and menopausal women. Now think of balancing pitta like taming a fire. So cooling the flames without extinguishing the light. It's all about finding that balance. Kapha's energy is nurturing, stable, and compassionate, but too much kapha can lead to stagnation, sluggishness, weight gain, or feeling stuck emotionally or physically. To balance kapha, the key is movement, lightness, and stimulation. So diet-wise, we want to emphasize light, spicy, and warming food like ginger tea, steamed greens, and light grains. Notice I said light grains. Limit heavy, oily, or sugary foods. For movement, they need to incorporate dynamic, energizing activities. So cardio is good for kapha. Dancing and like more of a faster pace, like a vinyasa yoga, is really beautiful yoga flow. Lifestyle, they really need to shake things up. They need to get out of their comfort zone because they like comfort. They need to try new activities. They need to socialize and stay engaged with projects that inspire them so that they don't get too sort of just stuck, and unmotivated. And in the mind, they can break up stagnant thought patterns with learning, like learning new things. It turns on that sharpness, that fire in the mind. Travel is great, and goal setting. Daily affirmations can also help keep the motivation high. So think of balancing kapha like stirring a still pond, gently creating movement and inviting new experiences. All right, so we've gone over diet, exercise, mind, all of those things, but Ayurveda teaches us that how you start and live your day determines your overall health and vitality. So we have a thing called dinacharya, which is the art of daily routine. And dinacharya aligns your lifestyles with the rhythms of nature. But here's the key: not all routines work for everyone. And like everything we have discussed, dinacharya should reflect your unique dosha. So just briefly, here's how you can craft routines that balance each dosha. So Vata dinacharya would be grounding and warm. So maybe waking up at the same time each day to establish that consistency. Maybe starting with a warm oil massage we called Abhyanga with sesame oil to calm the nervous system. For Pitta, maybe they're waking up and they're going to avoid starting the day with intense exercise or direct sunlight, but instead they might do something more of a calming exercise, like the water-based ones that we discussed. They might opt for coconut oil massage because that's more cooling, and having lukewarm showers as opposed to really warm showers in the mornings. Kapha, their routine might look like waking up early at 6 a.m. and engaging in invigorating activities like dry brushing to stimulate circulation, some form of invigorating movement or breath work. So by syncing your day to your dosha, you create balance not just physically, but mentally and emotionally, laying the foundations for greater resilience and vitality. So why does this matter? When you understand your doshas, you don't just transform your own health, you unlock deeper insights for your clients. Imagine being able to recognize exactly why a client is feeling anxious, sluggish, or burnt out, and having tools to guide them back to balance. This is what makes Ayurveda so powerful. It's not about applying the same protocol to every client. It's about reading their unique constitution, habits, and patterns, and knowing how to create personalized pathways to healing. So I just wanted to share a case study with you. One of my clients, we'll call her Sarah, came to me. She was exhausted, bloated, frustrated, and she thought she was doing all the right things. She was eating raw salad, she was sipping green juices every day, and she was going to power yoga or Ashtanga yoga classes it was 5 to 7 times a week. Now, here's the problem. Sarah's dominant dosha was Vata. Her raw, cold diet and excessive movement were aggravating Vata, creating dryness, bloating, and mental restlessness. So, what we did is we shifted Sarah to a Vata pacifying diet, warming, grounding foods like root vegetables, cooked grains, and soups. And then she started her day with warm water and added more gentle yoga and walks in between her power yoga classes or her Ashtanga yoga classes. So she wasn't doing them 7 days in a row. And the result we got within a few weeks was absolutely amazing. Her digestion improved, her bloating disappeared, and she felt a lot calmer and more energized throughout her day. Now, this is why personalization matters. A diet that balances one person can create imbalance in another. And Ayurveda allows us to read the individual, not just the symptoms. So we'll take another little pause. I know it is a lot. I'm trying to like cram years and years of content into an hour. I'm just picking out these really important pieces for you guys to really understand Ayurveda on that deep level so you can apply it to your life today and your clients. So I'm going to take a little pause for you guys to reflect. What is one small shift you can make to align your daily routine with your dosha? Like, I would love for you to pop it in the chat. If you want to unclick your mic, you can even shout it out. But like maybe you could swap, if you're having cold smoothies every day in your vata, maybe you need the herbal warm teas, or carve out 5 minutes of stillness in the morning if you know you get up racing all the time. Add light movement or rest. Would that make a difference to how you feel? Would adding more energy make a difference? I've got a question from Mina. Just curious, do doshas shift with time and therefore the balancing tasks would shift too? Yeah, absolutely, Mina. And that's why it's so important to always close your eyes and reflect on how you're feeling in the moment. So our Vikruti dosha, it will shift and it will change depending on our environment, depending on the foods that we've just eaten. So say say you are naturally pitta, but you have felt like unmotivated for whatever reason that might be, and you lay in bed all day, you decide to eat some cold ice cream, and I don't know, maybe you've had a fight with a loved one or something, and you're trying to soothe your emotions with food, and then you're eating all these warm, big, thick curries. That stagnation starts to build up. And instead of feeling really pitta, you can start to feel really kapha, especially when there's that emotional component involved of maybe having a fight with a loved one, and you've done all the fighting, like you're not fiery anymore, but you're feeling really upset and depressed about it. That's going to lead into more of that earthing element, too much excess in that. Wow, we've got some beautiful answers here. So Yvonne's going to add more exercise. Steph needs to add more rest. There's such good insights. Like, that's why I love Ayurveda. It's like we are our own healers, and we really get to understand ourselves. Okay, guys, we're moving on from the elements and the doshas. We're moving on to Ayurvedic psychology, because Ayurveda doesn't just stop at the body, It dives deep into the mind. And let's be honest, isn't that where most of us and our clients get stuck, right? Overthinking, emotional blocks, self-doubt, it's all rooted in how the mind operates. Ayurveda offers a powerful framework for understanding and balancing the mind by breaking it into distinct layers, often called the Antarakarana, or the inner instrument. So think of your mind, it's like a complex orchestra, with all the different instruments playing, right? Each part is playing its own role, but sometimes the instruments clash or will get out of sync if it's a crappy orchestra, yeah? And when this happens, we experience stress or confusion or emotional imbalance. So now we're going to explore the 7 key players in this orchestra of our mind and how they shape your mental and emotional landscape. First of all, we'll look at manas, which is the sensory mind. This is your monkey mind. It's manas is the lower mind, the part that reacts, worries, and jumps from thought to thought. It's the mind as we know it. It processes sensory input, managing what you see, hear, taste, touch, and smell. This is the monkey mind. So it's restless, it can be impulsive, and often the loudest voice in your head. When left unchecked, it can lead to overthinking, anxiety, and distraction. So to balance manas, we do want to incorporate some sort of meditation, breath work, and grounding rituals so that we can calm the monkey mind and bring more peace and focus. So I'm sure that you guys can probably think of, a client who is really operating from this part and maybe this part only of their mind. But when we learn how they all interact, we can start offering a more profound service to help our client's mindset. Now we have the buddhi mind, and this is our intellect. This is your inner sage. Buddhi is your higher mind. So think of it as the wise sage that sits quietly in the background. It's offering clarity and insight. But when someone's mind is so fogged over by many, many things, not sort of applying all the dinacharya, the nutrition, and the mindset at work, all of those things, the buddhi mind just sort of like gets covered and just sits at the back, and they don't act from clarity and insight. This is the part of the mind that makes decisions and discerns truth from illusions. But when it's foggy, it can't do that. This is the part of the mind that guides you to your higher purpose. So if someone's disconnected from their higher purpose, they're not tapping into their buddhi minds. When buddhi is sharp, you make confident decisions, trust your path, and avoid getting lost in mental fog. So some basic things to strengthen the buddhi mind is in-depth journaling of self-reflection and study to activate the buddhi. So right now, right here, you guys, you're activating your buddhi mind, that higher intellect, and sharpening your discernment. You've all reflected in on how you're feeling, who you are. You're using your buddhi mind. Then we have ahamkara, and this is the sense of I. It's what gives you identity, your names, your titles, and the roles you play. Like I said in one of my slides, hi, I'm Dr. Harmony Robinson-Stagg, and I'm an Ayurveda, blah, blah, blah. This is all my sense of identity, my I-ness that comes from the ahamkara. And this is why when I moved from emergency nursing, full-time nursing, and went into my own business, I really struggled. My ahamkara was taking over badly. I really struggled with that identity piece, like losing my identity as an emergency nurse, yeah? And you may reflect and know what I'm talking about. We struggle with our ahamkara. Now, a balanced ego provides confidence and individuality, but when ahamkara takes over, it can lead to pride, attachment, and that was me, attached to my older identity, and the need to prove your worth. Again, that was me. I've struggled with that a lot. So by balancing ahamkara, or what we can do to balance ahamkara, practice humility, service. We talk of, in Ayurveda, we talk about selfless service, and gratitude to soften the ego whilst allowing healthy self-expression. because we're not trying to undermine healthy self-expression. The chitta mind. Now, this is the subconscious mind. It's our deep vault. Chitta is your subconscious, the vault where all memories, patterns, and experiences are stored. It's like an ancient library filled with every thought, feeling, and experience you've ever had. Old traumas, fears, and limiting beliefs live here. These subconscious patterns, called samskaras, which we will discuss, can drive your behavior without you even realizing it. And you may recognize in this in yourself, but sometimes it's easier to recognize it in other people and clients when their chitta mind is overrun and their behaviors, they're not even realizing what their behaviors are because of those samskaras, those patterns that have been formed in this subconscious. There are many deep, deep ways of healing the chitta mind, which we go into depth in the Ayurveda Alchemist program. But for you guys who are already practitioners, you can offer guided meditation, some breath work if you're a breath work practitioner, and emotional release practices if that's something that you're competent in. And this will help clear mental clutter and reset old patterns. It's really important to know how to rewire the subconscious brain. And in our, we have one of our core subjects is limiting core beliefs and how to actually work with the chitta mind and rewire the subconscious mind. Okay, so we talked about some samskaras in the chitta. Now, the samskaras, again, they're mental imprints. So they're like the grooves of the mind. And they're left by repeated thoughts, emotions, or actions. So imagine water running over the same path until it carves a channel. This is how your habits form. Some samskaras will empower us, while others, like self-doubt or negative thinking, they will hold us back. And often our hamkara is looking to justify our behaviors that we have created from our samskaras. So we're always looking for evidence of why we're not worthy, why we're not good enough. And they're the things that hold us back. So we really need to rewrite these samskaras, and we can do this through specific Vedic affirmation work, coaching, deep coaching with your clients, and inner work to create new grooves and rewrite those old limiting stories. Then we also have, it's not specifically a layer of the mind, but prana is the life force energy that fuels the mind. Yeah, it fuels our whole body, but it's really important life force that infuels our entire being and our mind. And so when it is flowing freely, the mind feels clear, energetic, and emotionally stable. So, we talked about not having that fog. When prana, that life force energy, is depleted, we will have that fogginess, that fatigue, and mental restlessness. So to counterbalance that, we need to increase prana, increase life force energy, and make sure that it's flowing throughout the body to get to the mind. And then we have vasanas, which are our subtle desires. This is the unconscious drivers. Vasanas are subtle, unconscious drivers that shape our long-term behavior. They run deeper than samskaras, influencing our life direction and the way that we respond to the world. Vasanas can guide us towards growth, but if left unchecked, they can pull us into cycles of dissatisfaction and craving. So to shapen our vasanas, we need to engage in deep self-inquiry. Silence can be sometimes the best method, and some type of spiritual practices to help dissolve negative vasanas and cultivate really positive ones. All right, so I know that was a lot of information. I hope you guys are all still with me. But I wanted to share that with you because I find it so fascinating and we don't learn it in modern sciences. And when we understand the layers of the mind, it really allows you to break free from patterns that no longer serve you. This is more than mental health, yeah? It's about transforming the way that you experience life. For you, it helps you release imposter syndrome, self-doubt, and burnout. And I know at the very start, we discussed like ways that we feel stuck in our business, you know? And so this plays a huge role. It allows you to align yourself with your higher self and lead in your business with clarity. And for your clients, it helps them overcome emotional blocks, build resilience, and create lasting change, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually. And that is sometimes where the biggest transformations will happen. So, again, let's take a little moment to reflect. Which aspect of the mind feels most dominant for you at the moment or in the last, maybe week? Do you notice any repeating patterns, samskaras that show up in your daily life? Is there an area where your prana feels low or blocked? So you can write this down in the chat, have a little moment just to reflect on what part of my mind am I really accessing? Yeah. So integrating Ayurveda with your health and wellness profession. Ayurveda isn't here to replace what you already do. It's here to enhance it. Whether you're a yoga teacher, Pilates instructor, life coach, or healer, Ayurveda seamlessly blends with your current offerings, creating a holistic experience for your clients. And Pam's written prana about the mind. Okay, Pam, prana. You need to practice maybe some pranayama, breathwork practices. So that's prana control. And chitta. I love they're all the chats coming in now. So sorry if anyone's watching the replay. I've gone back to the chat. Definitely becoming aware of some limiting beliefs and repeating patterns as a result to limiting beliefs. Love that self-awareness stuff. All right, so back to infusing Ayurveda into your existing practice. Now, here's the magic. Ayurveda is already a fully integrated health system, but when you weave it with your unique skills and passion, you birth something completely authentic, something that sets you apart in the wellness space. Now, remember I said at the start, like, it's not enough anymore just to have a skill. There's lots of people with skills. But when you can bring those skills together and create your own unique methodology, we call the soul of your business, you create something truly unique and authentic to you and very special. And this is what we help our students do in the Ayurveda Alchemist program in the business modules as well. So, for instance, a yoga teacher who uses Ayurvedic dosha balancing to personalize her classes, leading to deeper client retention and glowing testimonials, and then her yoga students asking to work one-to-one with her for coaching. Maybe there's a health coach. Well, there has been a health coach that's applied Ayurvedic nutrition principles instead of the generic advice that they were giving, just like when they did their generic health coaching certification. So now they're using dosha-specific nutrition principles, and that helps their clients experience true transformation at that root cause level, not just surface level changes like, drink more green juices. No, that's not going to work for everyone, right? So this is how Ayurveda works. It adapts, integrates, and it amplifies everything that you already do. Now, incorporating Ayurveda isn't just about expanding your toolkit. It's about becoming a true leader in the wellness space. Clients now, they're really looking for practitioners who offer tailored holistic solutions. And Ayurveda really allows you to do that. And this now is also where my unique methodology, so the soul of my business, which is called the higher self method, comes in. And I'm going to share that with you because it bridges ancient Ayurvedic wisdom with modern strategies, giving you a proven soul aligned framework to elevate your business. When you embody the higher self method, you build trust and authority, deliver deeper client results, stand out in an industry that's already saturated with surface level solutions. We want to go deeper. And clients crave transformation. When you can prove or when you can provide that transformation from a place of authenticity and integrity, you naturally will position yourself as the go-to expert in your field. So this is a snapshot of my higher self method, and it's the cornerstone of what I teach in the Ayurveda Alchemist Academy, but I also apply this in my clinic with all of my women's health clients as well. So it's more than just a transformational journey. It's one that allows you to align your skills, tap into your higher purpose, and guide clients to do the same. This method is built on 3 core pillars, as you can see there in the slide, that addresses the mind, body, and soul, ensuring holistic success. That's what we want to get at the end of applying all of these 3 pillars, is stepping into our higher self and creating holistic success for ourselves. So the first one is health alchemy. Understanding your dosha and aligning with it through lifestyle, nutrition, herbs, and pranayama. This is going to really help you as a practitioner, help your clients understand what they need for their unique constitution. And we look at health in Ayurveda as not just physical, it's mental, it's spiritual, it's emotional, and it's dharmic. They're the 5 pillars of health alchemy itself. So we want to teach our clients how to trust into their body's intelligence and lead them to sustainable results, because that is what gives you authority, sustainable results that your clients can share. The second pillar is the empowered mind paradigm. This is looking at shifting limiting beliefs by rewiring the subconscious using Ayurvedic psychology that we just covered. This helps you to cultivate mental clarity and emotional resilience. And we can do that through a number of tools that I teach my clients and students. And it'll help clients break free from mental patterns that keep them stuck, because you can't heal from a disempowered state. You need to shift into an empowered state to allow yourself to heal. And that is with your health, or even heal your business, yeah? And then the third one is dharmic impact. And this is really talking about the soul, yeah? The soul of you as a being, or the soul of your business. Align your business with your dharma, with your purpose. Create impact-driven changes by living in alignment with your highest calling. And if it's to help your clients, this pillar helps to connect them with their sense of purpose, leading to breakthroughs beyond physical health. Now, when these 3 pillars all come together, they create a business and a life that feels aligned, expansive, and deeply fulfilling, not just for you, but for everyone that you serve. So another case study, Anna was one of our original Ayurveda alchemists. And when she joined us, she was struggling with her health and mindset coaching business. She's applied the teachings in the Ayurveda Alchemist and the Higher Self method, and now she is absolutely thriving. And I don't say that lightly. She has been asked to be a keynote speaker for multiple corporations, sporting clubs, and schools. She has become a published author and is running a successful men's health and mindset coaching business. That's actually her book. Can you guys see the book she's holding, Only Human in Her Hands? She wrote that, and she's got a whole section in there on Ayurveda, which I absolutely love for her. Now, beautiful Emma, she also implemented the Higher Self method. She's an Ayurveda alchemist who was in corporate finance, actually. And after graduating from the academy, the Ayurveda Alchemist Academy, she opened her own yoga studio and runs international retreats with Ayurveda workshops and cleansers. She was also asked to become a Lululemon ambassador. I don't know if any of you guys know Lululemon, but it is a huge, huge brand, international brand. And that's just because she built authority in such a short time frame using the principles that we taught her in Ayurveda. She also did our breathwork training recently, the ISL Vedic breathwork training, and is running breathwork workshops for corporate organizations as well. And lastly, we have amazing Michelle. She owns a brand called Tonica, and that blends Ayurvedic herbs with mushrooms. She's really passionate about helping people with their health, and she wanted to implement Ayurveda coaching as the service part of her product business. So she came to us and finished, graduated, I think it was last year or the year before, with the Ayurveda Alchemist Academy, and now offers coaching as part of her product-based business. And talking about your Dharma and your Dharmic path, when you really know when you're on your Dharmic path, when you receive emails like this, and this email, this is what drives me to help others, other health and wellness professionals, to really and truly step into their higher self on their Dharmic path. A student sent this email in, and she said that this past year has been one of the most eye-opening and personally transformative times in her life, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Exploring Ayurveda is a profound and in-depth way of being. And the Ayurveda Alchemist course, along with your teachings, highlighted every arm of Ayurveda thoroughly and coherently. I can imagine this would have been hard to execute, and the effort truly shows through the modules. You and Mel is in the chat there, Melissa, have such an infectious energy of motivation, drive, positivity, and connectedness. And I couldn't have asked for a better duo to welcome me into this community and guide me on my path. Thank you for showing me your Dharma. And you can tell I still get a bit choked up when I read that, because it reiterates to me who, being human, I still have self-doubt sometimes. But when you get emails like this, you're like, oh my God, I am on my Dharmic path. I am like ticking one of the pillars, yeah? One of the pillars of the higher self methodology, and then bringing in the health alchemy and the empowered mind paradigm. And that really allows me to step into my higher self. So as you see, Emma created a whole new Dharmic path for herself from corporate finance, but Anna and Michelle, they didn't leave their original paths. They enhanced them by layering Ayurveda into their existing skills. This created a deeper level of impact, higher income, and a more sustainable business module. Imagine where your business could be 6 months from now if you started weaving Ayurveda into your offerings today. So your next step, I really encourage you, is to take everything that you've learned today and bring some Ayurvedic wisdom into your practice. You've experienced how Ayurveda can transform not just your clients, but you. So now it's time to really take that next step. And for those of you who are interested, I do want to share with you today a little bit about our Ayurveda Alchemist program, which is a pathway to becoming a true expert in holistic health. It's a 12-month certification, but it doesn't just teach Ayurveda. It helps you to embody it, because when you embody something yourself, you are so much more of an authentic practitioner. You'll walk away with a comprehensive understanding of Ayurveda and how to apply it to yourself and your clients. You'll have tools to build a thriving, purpose-driven wellness business and the confidence to position yourself as a leader in your field. So we've got 12 pre-recorded modules, but we have 3 live calls per month. We have an Ayurveda embodiment call, the business of Ayurveda call, and a mindset mastery call. So here are some of our core pillars or modules, I should say. You've got your journey to Ayurveda. We go into Ayurvedic philosophy, Ayurvedic psychology, a lot deeper than what we did today. The Ayurvedic elements. Then we go doshas, dinacharya and lifestyle medicine, how you can apply that to your clients. Ayurvedic nutrition for better health. We have an Ayurvedic cleansing module where we actually do a group cleanse together, but I also teach you how to run cleanses for your groups or your communities or one-to-one. We have Ayurveda specifically for women's health, looking deep into like women's hormonal conditions, etc., and women and men's health, sorry. Then we learn about the coaching skills to become a really, really top of mind, authentic coach. We go deep into those client breakthroughs and limiting core beliefs, clearing out those samskaras that we talked about. And then we have a whole module on building a soulful business. But we also offer many bonuses, and you get a one-to-one student success mentor call with our lovely student success mentor who's in the chat today. You get a complimentary ticket to our day retreat, so we can actually all physically meet in person, which is so amazing. We have the best times. I know Shri, if she's still in here, I know Shri, you've been yet, have you? No, you haven't been. But there's a few girls Mel's definitely been to our goddess retreat, who's watching today. It's just a beautiful experience. You also get access to the guest speaker vault with like so many different guest speakers from business top, the top Australian women's business coach. We've got Ayurvedic practitioners, people from all walks of life that are really top notch in their field. And you get an intro to Sanskrit course. And Sanskrit is the language of Ayurveda. Now, this is a brilliant course delivered by a Sanskrit scholar, not myself. And yeah, I learned so much from it myself. You also, of course, get Ayurveda recipe books, a business mentorship gift voucher. You get access to my cleanse portal that I give my clients. And if you pay in full, you also get a one-to-one mentoring session with myself. Now, I do have an exclusive offer for all of our live attendees today. So if you enroll within the next 48 hours, you will receive $500 off the pay in full program or $200 off the payment plans. Now, Mel has dropped the links in the chat box if you're like super keen to get in. And if you did want to enroll before the end of our session today, I'm also offering 30-minute business audits to anyone who enrolls right now, like today. So this is my way of supporting your growth and encouraging you to invest in the next evolution of your business. I'll also be sending out an email to you guys with that code. And yes, in saying that, Cherie's just got in the chat, I've completed the Ayurveda Alchemist Program certification and it's fantastic. Thank you so much, Cherie. I really appreciate that. Yeah, so thank you so much,